Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We've got a major pattern shift unfolding across Ontario, and if you thought spring had fully arrived, think again. A strong cold front is on the way, and it's about to bring a sharp temperature drop, the return of below normal conditions, and even the possibility of late April snow. This comes right after a week of flooding rain, thunderstorms, and unusually warm temperatures, so the change is going to feel dramatic. Let's break it all down step by step so you know exactly what to expect heading into the weekend and beyond. First, let's talk about the setup. A large and powerful low-pressure system is moving across Ontario, pulling in two very different air masses. On one side, warm and moist air is being drawn up from the Gulf of Mexico, bringing rain and mild conditions. On the other side, colder air from the prairies is pushing in, setting the stage for a sharp cooldown once the cold front passes. As we head into Saturday, much of southern and eastern Ontario will once again deal with heavy rain. This could lead to additional flooding concerns, especially in areas that are already saturated from earlier storms. Northern Ontario, however, will be dealing with a completely different story. That same system will bring snow and even some icy precipitation to those regions, making travel conditions more difficult. Flooding is already a serious issue in parts of the province. In northeastern Ontario, some areas have seen over 500 centimeters of snow this winter. Now, with warmer temperatures and heavy rain, all that snow is melting rapidly, increasing the risk of flooding. Communities on Manitoulin Island have been hit particularly hard. A state of emergency was declared earlier in the week as rising impacted multiple areas and even forced the shutdown of local healthcare services. Flood warnings remain in place across a wide portion of northeastern Ontario, including areas like Sault Ste. Marie, Greater Sudbury, and North Bay. Central Ontario is also seeing similar problems, with flooding impacting areas like Minden. With more rain expected on Saturday, the situation could worsen before it gets better. Now let's move into the timing of the big change. Saturday will still feel relatively mild in southern Ontario, with rain continuing throughout the day. But by Saturday night, things begin to shift. As the cold front approaches, temperatures will start to fall, and in some areas, especially in eastern Ontario, rain could begin to mix with wet snow overnight into Sunday morning. This won't necessarily lead to major accumulation in southern areas, but it's a clear sign that colder air is taking over. By Sunday, the change becomes very noticeable across the entire province. Daytime highs will struggle to reach between 5 and 8 degrees in many cities, including Toronto, Ottawa, and Windsor. That is well below seasonal averages for this time of year. In fact, conditions will feel more like mid-March than late April. On top of that, flurries are expected to develop in some areas, particularly east of Lake Huron and around Georgian Bay. These could include localized lake-effect flurries, adding to the wintry feel of the day. Overnight temperatures heading into Monday could drop to or even below freezing in some areas. That raises concerns about icy patches, especially where roads are still wet from earlier rainfall. As we move into early next week, the colder pattern sticks around. Systems coming in from the prairies will continue to reinforce below normal temperatures across Ontario. While we may still see a mix of precipitation types, including rain and occasional snow, the overall trend is cooler and more unsettled. This means that even though we're in late April, winter-like conditions are not completely out of the picture. In fact, snowfall during April is actually quite normal. Toronto typically sees around 4 centimeters of snow this month, while Ottawa averages over 12 centimeters. So while it may feel surprising, it's not unusual for this time of year. Looking further ahead, temperatures are expected to stay near or below seasonal levels into early May. That means this cooler pattern may linger longer than many people would like. So the key takeaway here is to be prepared for a major shift. Saturday brings more rain and mild conditions, but by Sunday, colder air takes over with much lower temperatures and even the chance of flurries. Flooding remains a concern in many areas, especially in the north, and travel conditions could be impacted by both rain and snow depending on your location. If you're planning outdoor activities or travel, make sure to stay updated on the latest forecasts and warnings. Conditions will be changing quickly, and being prepared can make a big difference. That's your full breakdown of this major weather shift across Ontario. Stay safe, stay prepared, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily weather updates as we continue to track these changing conditions.